Hello, everyone. Welcome in. In this video, we're going to continue the Supreme Court series, focusing on the evidence that we do have in this case. This video is a special one as we're focusing on the main star witness, Rosa Rodriguez, Alexee's mother. All evidence needs foundation, and evidence is usually entered through a witness. After the Supreme Court makes their decision, we will revisit this video and add to it should any statements be given back to the prosecutors in this case. But for now, we're going to see just how much they will be able to squeeze out of Rosa. There are a few ways that the state will introduce their witnesses. It really depends on the ultimate trial strategy, but one thing for certain is that within the first handful of witnesses will be Rosa, and Rosa herself has proclaimed why she is a star witness. That video was taken when the police were trying to get a statement from Alexee, but Rosa was the first one to speak with the police, and that is when she said she was there the whole time.
Your daughter is the one involved in that, not you.
But I was there the whole time
I understand that.
Now, Rosa has stated on body cam that the reason they went to the hospital was for Alexee's hip and back pain. It sounds as though they were originally going to go to the chiropractor the next, but according to Rosa, Alexee was in a lot of pain.
So what did she come here for that she told you?
She told me she had back pain.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay. Has she been having back pain before?
Yeah, pain for her and her hips is no, I mean, she was born with like her, I don't know, it's like crooked.
Her spine?
Okay, because my ex-husband, he hit me. He beat me whenever I was pregnant with her.
Mm-hmm.
So she was early. So she had some problems with her hips. Like I always had to take her to the chiropractor to get adjusted because she couldn't use, like, she was always getting constipated. Like she had to get lined up, whatever. So, I mean, I've been taking her to chiropractor because I always thought, well, this time, I didn't know. I honestly didn't know she was pregnant. I didn't know. I just thought, like she said, I have back pain. Mom, my hips are hurting me. I think I need to go to the chiropractor. I said, okay, let's go tomorrow. But she was like in really a lot of pain, and
When is this?
Now, Rosa, as a witness in this case, is extremely questionable. We do not know if she will heed the likely warnings from the defense attorney to be as cordial as possible and to appear as open and forthcoming as possible. I'm not saying that she has to be open and forthcoming. I'm saying she has to appear that way. As we have seen her attitude on body cam footage, other than the night in question, it would lead us to believe that Rosa may not be able to withhold her attitude while on the stand. You must remember, as the charges stand right now, this is a moment in Rosa's life that will forever define her daughter's future. And I do mean forever. If Alexee is found guilty of murder, one of the charges that she is facing, her only option would be life in prison without parole, and then her only hope would be an appeal to possibly reverse that guilty verdict. You must understand that this witness, Rosa, is more rare. You don't typically have the mother of the defendant in a murder case present throughout the entire alleged murder and possibly one of the nails in the defendant's coffin. Before we get to the biggest piece of information we have regarding Rosa, we have to understand that one wrong move on the stand by Rosa, one tell to the jury in any way, could be the moment that they all refer back to in their minds during deliberation. A quick list of things that we will learn about Alexee through Rosa as a witness will be background information on Alexee, like how she goes to high school and was in cheerleading at the time of the incident. They will likely ask Rosa if she ever thought or knew that Alexee could be pregnant. They will also likely ask Rosa about the phentermine found in the baby's system through Alexee taking phentermine. We will likely find out whose idea it was to go to the ER. Now, at this point, due to this press evidence, we are going to jump directly into Alexee needing to go to the bathroom. I have found a small tidbit in the body cam that is relevant to Rosa, and I have not seen this clip brought up anywhere. I haven't seen anyone talk about these quick 2 clips that show one of the craziest acts of foreshadowing that I have ever seen in my life. Play the clips.
Because I know whenever we were leaving, that's when the mom came out and was saying, hey, she needs to go to the bathroom. Yeah. So I remember that's around the time it was. So remember whenever we were coming out or we were here, and the lady came and the mom came out and said, hey, she needs to go to the bathroom. That's whenever she went to the bathroom, and she was in there for about.
So as you see here, the officers who eventually show back up when police are called due to finding baby Alex were present on an unrelated matter. They heard Rosa exit the treatment room and go ask for Alexee to use the bathrooms. The officer trying to create a timeline was actually there for the moment that this whole case started unraveling, which is Alexee going to the bathroom and Rosa asking for her to be unhooked from that IV so that she can go. And isn't that just a crazy full circle moment that the police were there to hear Rosa ask that? Does it have any legal implications as far as her witness testimony? Possibly, because they may be able to discuss with her how she felt about Alexee having to go to the bathroom. And we're going to get into that here because that is important. Because if Rosa is adamant that she only thought Alexee had to go number 2, then this next little piece of information might look a little suspect. All right, we're going to start the footage off here. Alexee running to the bathroom. This is on 2x speed, and we will pause. As the door is fully closed here, as we see the light kind of dimmed, so we know that door is closed. We're going to take this nice even time of 1:39 a.m. of Alexee entering the bathroom. It won't be very long before we see Rosa appear on screen and make her way to the bathroom door. Now, once Rosa is at the bathroom door, here at exactly 42 seconds after Alexee goes to the bathroom, the reason I said earlier why it would be interesting if Rosa said all she thought was Alexee had to use the bathroom urgently, we do have Rosa appearing 42 seconds after Alexee enters the bathroom. So Rosa will testify as to if any conversation was exchanged at this point. It would seem weird and maybe even more suspicious if she were to state that she just sat outside the door listening. So I would assume Rosa is going to testify that a conversation did indeed happen. Now, what is extremely important about this moment in time is that last year, at first when this case broke and the attorney for Alexee Trevizo started doing interviews, he said this.
She did not know she was pregnant until she had the baby at 139, 140 in the back.
The defense attorney has publicly stated that the baby came out of Alexee at 139 to 140. Well, it is 139 and 42 seconds. So that would mean that it is possible that the baby has already exited Alexee, according to the public statements made by her defense attorney. Now, Rosa is standing outside the door during this happening. That is an extremely huge moment in this case. It shows Alexee's intent to not tell anyone about this baby, in my opinion. If her attorney's statements are true, and within this minute is when Alexee had a baby, that is when her mother is standing outside the door. It appears to be the defense in this case that no one told Alexee she was pregnant, which is an odd stance to take, seeing as Alexee knew she was pregnant once the baby came out. What also stands out is if truly no one suspected Alexee to be pregnant, including her mother Rosa, what was the motivation behind Rosa arriving at the door 42 seconds after Alexee made it to the bathroom? This stands out to me for a few reasons. Number one, Rosa admits that hip and back pain and constipation are nothing new for Alexee. Number two, why would you need to follow someone to the bathroom if all you thought that they had to do was use the bathroom? Meaning, it can be perceived that Rosa's haste to follow Alexee into the bathroom was due to possible knowledge or worry about Alexee, further than hip and back pain and constipation. Possibly something more serious, something needing surveillance as quickly as 42 seconds after leaving her sight, which is really suspect. I do think that the state will ask Rosa why she ended up at this door so quickly. Let's watch how Rosa walks away from the door. After spending approximately 13 seconds at the door, Rosa walks away, and at the very end, right before she exits the video frame, you see her cover her mouth. Please note everything about this motion and this behavior for the next time we see Rosa on film. It would appear that by covering her mouth, she could indicate that she is worried about something. She did go to the bathroom door very fast. Then she gives us this slight tell of a hand over the mouth, which could indicate worry. Another thing to note is that she puts her hand over her mouth when she is finally out of view of the people at the nurse's station. Please keep that in mind for the next time that we see Rosa. We fast forwarded about 9 or so minutes into the future because nothing important happens. We see Rosa appear and make her way to the bathroom. Once she gets to the door, we do not know if Rosa had a conversation with Alexee through the door at this time, but again, one would assume that they did have a conversation, of which Rosa will testify to on the stand. We notice eventually that Alexee's nurse will appear. Here she is talking, and he's going to come. The nurse is here. Rosa's face is still at the door. Now we see Rosa notice the nurse, possibly acknowledge him, and have a conversation. We don't know for sure, but we will find out. Then Rosa goes to walk away. We're going to see another body movement here that I find interesting. I told you guys to notice her possible indication of worry the first time we see her go and check Alexee in the bathroom. She's going to do it again here. Notice this. She puts her hand on her face and moves it to the side. She walks with it, puts it down. If you notice that she had it on the side furthest away from the nurse who could maybe see her body language, and it is removed as soon as she's going to pass the nurse's station where other people might see this body language. We're going to play that back one more time. Watch her acknowledge, possibly converse with, and exit from the bathroom door area. Hand on her face, hiding it from the guy next to her maybe, and dropping it as soon as other people are around. Now, I cannot assume that Rosa did not want others to sense her panic or her worry, and I cannot prove that those movements indicate worry, but to me, they greatly do indicate that she is worried, stressed out, panicked to some degree. She's not making movements that don't indicate stress. She's not walking back freely. She's touching her face. She's covering her mouth. She's putting her arms across her body, which is a defensive movement. Just like that looks worried. Just how I moved it back looks worried to me. Now, since she is possibly hiding these mannerisms from everyone, it does make me question, why wouldn't she want to let anyone know what she's worried about if she is truly worried? From there, Rosa had just spent 23 seconds at the door, 5 seconds possibly speaking with the nurse, or 5 seconds of acknowledging the nurse at least, and then 0 full seconds after that. As soon as she's done acknowledging with the nurse, she walks away and does this. How Rosa hides her worried body language from the nurse's station possibly, we could maybe perceive that Rosa has a worry or thought that she is not sharing with the hospital staff. Now, we will do our own video on the autopsy and toxicology, but I would like to take a quick moment to speak on the phentermine, as we discussed a few videos ago on its own in the missing lawsuit video, where we pointed out that whoever the possible doctor was that gave Alexee the phentermine while pregnant was not named in the wrongful death lawsuit for baby Alex, despite phentermine being a medication that's not supposed to be prescribed to pregnant women. Keep that in mind as we move forward. Rosa walks a fine line, because if her testimony comes off as her and Alexee being a very close mother-daughter duo, the jury will ultimately wonder how neither of them ever stumbled upon the topic of pregnancy in those 9 months. If Rosa's testimony comes off as her and Alexee not being a very close mother-daughter duo, the possible character rehabilitation that they're going to try to do for Alexee through her mother will not work, because by her own testimony, her and Alexee weren't that close. This is a catch-22, because Rosa will likely be asked if she was aware that Alexee was consuming phentermine, a weight loss drug and appetite-suppressing medication. If Rosa knew that Alexee was taking that, it indicates that everyone around Alexee knew that she was gaining weight. If Rosa knew Alexee was gaining weight and looked so concerned outside the hospital door, but didn't tell anyone anything could possibly be wrong, that could look really weird to the jury. On the other hand, Rosa could say that she did not know Alexee was taking phentermine, which could lead the jury to believe Alexee was hiding the weight loss medication, and maybe that would fall in line with her hiding the newborn baby. It could just seal the deal for the jury. The prosecution will also ask Rosa if she ever thought at any point that Alexee was pregnant. Rosa's answer has implications no matter what she says. If Rosa says, "I did think Alexee could be pregnant," we'd have a Perry Mason moment, because it would be unbelievable that Rosa thought Alexee could be pregnant and never asked her. Rosa more than surely will stick with what she said on body cam and say that she had no idea Alexee could be pregnant. Now, that also does not bode well for Alexee's case, because that could strengthen the idea in the jury's head that Alexee hid her pregnancy from everyone around her, just like she hid the baby in the end. The advantage the prosecution has in this case is that the jury is looking at this with 20/20 vision. The outcome of the child's birth and entry into the world is already known. They are just backtracking everything that happened. That will only likely increase the jury's belief that Alexee never intended for this child to see the light of day. This is all just my opinion, but I do think it's well reasoned. Like I've been reiterating throughout this whole video, Rosa has an extremely hard job while on the stand. She has a desired outcome in this case. The pressure on her to hold up on the stand is immense. We know that on cross-examination, the defense attorney will attempt to fix anything that goes wrong while the state had Rosa on the stand. The issue is, the defense attorney does not have much else to offer to give Rosa wiggle room out of whatever she says while under direct examination. So far, everything the defense seems to offer to explain away any part of the situation is that no one told Alexee that she was pregnant and that Alexee was on morphine and that the baby had morphine in its system. The defense attorney never speaks about the weight loss medication in his interviews. That gives us a peek into trial. That is because phentermine is a huge indicator of intent. Hard to believe Alexee only knew that she was gaining weight, but had no clue, indication, or suspicion that she was ever pregnant. Now that just does not add up with the alleged actions Alexee takes once the baby arrives into the world. Concealment seems to be the name of the game. The defense attorney will have very little he can offer to fix any of the picture that the state paints through Rosa. This concept is going to come up more and more the closer we get to trial. The more things that you have to explain in your defense, the worse your case is. If there is evidence against you that you cannot explain, you better hope it being inexplicable makes sense. The danger of having lots of little pieces of evidence, kind of how it is in the Alexee case, the phentermine, her mom going to check on her, how the baby was left, all these moving parts will have disjointed answers, or answers that they are hoping the jury accept at face value and do not compare with the other evidence. Meaning, if the defense argues that Alexee was given medications like morphine that could impact her thoughts or actions, is that in a way admitting those thoughts or actions needing an explanation? Could that ring in that way to the jury? Is that how they could perceive that? Could that already be a losing battle? The more you have to explain your actions in your case, the more you're hoping people believe your story. I do think that Rosa truly is the star witness of the trial when it comes to us learning how we got here, who Alexee was before this all happened, who knew that Alexee was taking these medications, and then why on earth did Rosa run up to that bathroom door within 42 seconds of Alexee going in there. Thank you so much if you've made it this far in this video. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please leave them down below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And I do genuinely enjoy the conversation. If you're interested in following cases like the Alexee Trevizo Case to trial, please subscribe as I'll be covering it all along the way with the legal focus. It's your girl Friday. I'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye.
I come from death, murder, corruption, crime, homicide, suicide, gunshots, prison time. Listen, I'm KRS. I can open up your mind or cave your chest.